Hello, this is Tim Law with Playing It Forward Coaching, always encouraging your self-reliance. If you develop a marketable skill, chase that skill with a good work ethic, go the extra mile, develop some good people and communication skills, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Big thank you to over 500 people that have subscribed to this channel, Playing It Forward Coaching. If you haven't already, please do so. I'd very much appreciate it. I have two guys here that I really I think are outstanding on the Northeastern Bobcat baseball team. They did something that I've never heard of happening before. I've heard of no-hitters before, but I've never heard of back-to-back no-hitters. And we've got Nate Toomey and Quinn Shindler telling their stories on how that went. So Nate, go ahead. Why don't we start with you, and you kind of let us know what happened there.
Yeah. So last Monday I had 7-inning no-hitter against West York with 15 strikeouts. And it would have been a perfect game, except someone tried to bunt the ball and I made my own error. So it was close to a perfect game. But it's better that I ruined my own perfect game than someone else, because, at least I can be disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was kind of, I was a little bit nervous going in because the game before that I pitched, I had one of my worst outings ever. And so this has been my first time coming back. And so I was maybe applied some more pressure to myself than usual. But, after calming myself down before the game, and just when I first started getting into the flow of it, I just kept going. And before I knew it, I didn't even know I was throwing the no-hitter until afterwards. And then they told me I had 15 strikeouts and I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah. It was certainly a great outing. And as you were doing this, Nate, what was kind of going through your mind as far as, kind of keeping yourself cool, dialed into the zone, as they call it, and that kind of thing? How did you manage to just kind of, keep your cool, especially after, like I say, misplaying a bunt is not, it's not an automatic thing. That can be very, very tricky as it is. So maybe you're being too hard on yourself. So how did you get yourself kind of, dialed down and under, good emotional control?
So it's just, for me, it's always like a one pitch type of thing. Usually I start off with a fastball unless it's under other circumstances. And then I start to think to myself, I'm a very analytical person. So if they're late on it, then we go fastball again. If they're early, or if they have a good swing on it, but just miss it, then we go to something different. So it's just, by myself, I'm already thinking of the next pitch. So I don't spend time worrying about what could go wrong, or being disappointed about the last pitch. Because in reality, in baseball, every pitch has a purpose. Even if it's a bad pitch, you can tell a lot, that gives you a lot of information. So it's really just, for me, it's staying focused on the next pitch that keeps me dialed in. And then, like you mentioned, the error on the bunt, I think I probably did have a little bit of pressure on myself. I was too rushed to make the play. But afterwards, it's just having that faith, that amount of faith in my teammates, because I got to the next batter. You could tell that I was kind of bothered. I got to a 3-1 count, but our catcher, Brendan Floyd, he kind of saved me there. 3-1 count, kid tries to steal third base, and he throws him out, and we get out of the inning. And so I just had to be able to have faith in my teammates and just stay focused on, keep going, focusing on the next pitch.
Sure. Well, a lot of it depends on, who's behind you on that infield. Like I said, with Brendan, with the catching and everything, it makes a big difference. And Nate, that was against, was it West York, right?
Yep. West York. Yep.
And what was the final score?
1-0.
Wow.
It was a nail biter. Yeah.
Yeah. Really close. Well, let's jump over to Quinn, and yours win was over against Suburban. Quinn, tell us a little bit about that one.
That went against Suburban. We kind of blew them out, which is nice to have, because we beat them, like, I want to say 14-1, I think. They weren't the greatest team, but my mindset going in was the exact same as if we played like a Central or like a Dallas Town. They didn't really hit the ball that great. So my mindset was just fastball the whole way. Like, I only think I threw 1 or 2 changeups the whole game.
Yeah, well, obviously, if the fastball's working and they're not really touching it at all, it doesn't make any sense to change anything. That's for sure. So who had some of the big hits, to get some of those 14 runs, Quinn?
We had a home run by Owen Wilhide. We had a couple doubles. We had one by Brendan, Floyd, Kevin. Did you have a double?
No, I did not. No, I didn't have a double that game.
I don't. We had other big hits just to rally around.
Connor Rippo had a big hit that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how are things going as far as, the season? I know you guys have, there's been a little bit of up and down or whatever, but it sounds like you got a pretty good group of pitchers there overall. So tell us a little more about the season, Nate.
Yeah. So, that's coming into the season. We knew that our pitching was going to be great. Quinn was a freshman last year. So he already grown, he gotten his experience, me being a senior, and then our lefty junior, Zach Bortner. We all had varsity innings under our belts. We all had the velocity to be a successful high school pitcher, as well as the location and the off speed. So we knew coming into the season that we were perfect for pitching. And we've always, the past couple of years, we've had problems hitting. But I think this year we've definitely come together. We've worked on it as a team, and we've gotten much better at hitting this year. And like you said, there are some up and downs, some close games here and there, or, I have a bad pitching performance, or, we don't hit the ball as well as we should. It's just little mistakes in games that keep us from, absolutely exploding right now. But we're about the middle of the season right now. We're 1 under 500, and we just got to keep grinding and try to make a run for playoffs this last half of the season.
Sure. And Quinn, what's it like to be, one of the regulars? Because now when you're not pitching, you're playing shortstop. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's it like kind of being up on that, as a starter on the varsity level as just a sophomore?
The pressure's there. I mean, I feel like getting my reps last year on the mound for varsity was really nice because I kind of got all that pressure put on me last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cooled down this year. Like at the start of this year, I was like a little bit more jittery just because I was just trying to prove myself and do stuff like that.
Sure.
But now as I kind of found my role in the team and stuff like that, I've kind of settled down and stuff.
Yeah. And guys, a lot of times what I try to do with this is I encourage you guys to kind of give your advice to any kind of, let's say, young up and comers, whether it's a middle school kid or let's say a freshman or even other sophomores. What kind of advice and Nate, well, let me start with Quinn. What advice would you give some of those younger ones, Quinn?
When you make a mistake, don't take it as you're not going to play ever again just because you made one mistake, just because you're a freshman, and it happens to everyone. Like it happened to me, it probably happened to Nate, probably happened to everyone on the team.
Yeah. Basically, we refer to that as short memory, because like you say, you're out there playing, things go bang, bang real quick, and it's, and errors are going to happen. And like I say, you just can't dwell on it because that's when you get multiple errors that, if you dwell on it, for sure. Nate, how about you? What advice would you give to some of the young up and comers?
My thing that's really helped me the past few years is just, always working. I always, in my free time, it's always helpful to work in some way. So like mobility is this huge thing in all sports. And so, it doesn't take much to go stretch for like 30 minutes a day. And when I stretch myself, like I just turn on TV, watch that, and stretch while I'm doing that, just like a casual thing. Finding time to work out. And even if you're a little kid, you don't want to, hit the weight room quite yet. There's still stuff you can work on, like agility, speed. Push-ups are something great that a lot of people, they think it's some basic exercise, but push-ups are a great tool to get stronger. So just that, one of my coaches told me, I think it was my freshman year, that most kids probably spend, more time going to the bathroom or sitting on their phone than actually, trying to improve themselves for sports.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of made a click in my head. Like I'm spending all this time doing stuff that, it's not making me successful. I wanted to be successful. So that kind of drilled into me that I need to start working more than what I was.
Sure. No, that's great advice. And it's amazing how much time can actually slip away if, you allow that to happen. I always try to encourage student athletes or anybody, monitor your time on those devices. If you realize that you're spending a huge amount of time on it when you could be doing, some push-ups or just some extra, visualization of what you want to do to get better. It can make a big difference. How about your coaches, guys? What can we say? What can you say about them?
Go ahead.
I like our coaches. Some of the stuff that we do, I don't always agree with, but it is whatever. I mean, they're our coaches. I'll listen to them. They're 100%.
And most times what our coaches say that we don't agree with, they're right anyways. It's they're coaches for a reason. And Coach Manny, being a former pitcher himself, it helps him giving us advice because he's been at this for probably more years than we've been alive now. So he knows what he's talking about, and it's been a help to have him as our coach this year.
Yeah. Besides Coach Manny, who are your other coaches, guys?
Coach John Hall he's our only assistant coach. And he's big. He's a great, team guy. He'll make you laugh. We'll be having a tough game. He'll come out to the pitcher's mound and he'll make you laugh, make you calm down. He's serious when it comes to sports, but he's also more worried about the player itself rather than just, always winning.
Sure.
And a lot of the team really appreciates that because we need that break every once in a while.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. When it's time to get down to business is one thing, but sports and certainly on the level of high school or whatever, you guys want to have some fun as well. It's just a case of knowing when to do either one for sure. Well, this has been great. Any last second thoughts from either one of you? And by the way, can you hang around after we shut this off?
Yeah. No, I don't have any other thoughts. I think Quinn can agree that it was crazy to think about, having back-to-back no hitters, like you said, because I honestly didn't even think about that fact until a few days afterwards. And I was like, wow, I don't think that's ever happened, definitely not in Northeastern history. And, maybe not even in York County or Pennsylvania history. It's crazy to think about what it takes to have back-to-back no hitters. And I'm really proud of both Quinn and myself, for accomplishing that.
Yeah. And realistically, guys, 5-10 years down the road, I mean, you guys will get together, as grown adults and everything. And it'd be one of your favorite memories for sure. Cause it is pretty amazing. A lot of times at the age you're at, you don't realize, how you guys hit that, Quinn, any last second things from you, my man?
Nothing. Just want to say thank you for letting me on here. And
Absolutely. Okay. So if you guys can just hang for a second, we'll cut it off and appreciate great interview, guys. That were awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.